Hello and welcome. This is Power Wheel, a production of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. Here are the top stories. Kashimbila 40 megawatt power plant to be commissioned soon. New Takum 2x60 MVA 132-33 kV transmission substation ready to evacuate power from 40 megawatt Kashimbila plant. Gombe State TCN strengthening collaboration on bulk power transmission. We bring you all the reports and more shortly. I am Chiwenwa Anyao. The Minister of Power, Engineer Salim Maman, has said 40 megawatts Kashimbila hydropower plants will soon be commissioned to add to the grid capacity to supply electricity to Nigeria.
The minister, who stated this when he and the Minister of State, Mr. Godi J.D. Agba, went on an inspection visit to the plants and its 330 132 kilovolts switchyard in Kashimbila, Taraba State recently, expressed satisfaction with the level and quality of the project.
I'm very much impressed, and we are going back to now sit down with the engineers and analyze and come out with a statement.
Engineer Mamman, who said the project will be commissioned anytime soon, added that the little challenges will be addressed to ensure seamless energy evacuation from the hydropower plants.
Oh, anytime from now, any moment, because it's much more ready, very much ready. Challenges are not much, it's just about the funding, number one, and secondly, maybe little problem that here and there that you cannot, it's inevitable.
The Minister of State, Mr. Godi J.D. Agba, on his part, stated that he was happy with the level of work.
This project is ready to go, and I'm very impressed, very happy about it. I'm glad to be part of it. We hope that we'll be able to work together to complete it and make it a good project for Nigerians.
The Managing Director, CEO of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, Mr. Usman Gur Mohammed, said he was satisfied with the power projects. Addressing the minister on the planned transmission projects in the eastern axis of Nigeria, he said,
the eastern part of Nigeria is actually less served in terms of electricity, and this project was actually taken to take care of this part of areas that are less served, which is the southern Taraba state. But also, if you look at least there is still areas that are missing. If you look at northern Cross River, the middle of Taraba, Donga side, and all those ones are also still missing. And that's why we have conceived the Eastern Backbone, which I said that now is an ECOWAS project that will run from Calabar to Ikom to Ogoja to Kashimbila, Kashimbila to Mambila to Jalingo up to Kano. I want to tell you, Honorable Minister, this fits into our national plan.
The Acting Director, Renewable and Rural Power Assets in the Federal Ministry of Power, Engineer Farouk Yusuf, said his department implemented a power component of the project. He explained the benefits of the power project, saying,
"This project is going to contribute 40 megawatts to the national grid, and is going to cover several local governments, millions of people across Taraba and the Benue states. And so you can imagine the kind of impact it will make when you have 247 power from a hydropower plant with a kind of very standardized substations like this. So obviously there will be a lot of impact economically."
The project manager and a deputy director in the Federal Ministry of Power, Engineer Ali Dabshima Abubakar, who conducted the dignitaries around the project sites, said the Kashimbila hydropower was upgraded from 6 megawatts to 40 megawatts. He said the dam and the hydropower components were completed since October 17, 2017. The evacuation project was at 90% level in June 2019 and will be ready for power generation soon.
The communities are going to benefit from this particular project because the dam has been completed, it's ready to generate power, the substation has been completed, it's ready to receive power from Kashimbila substation and switchyard to really deliver 33 kV line to the feeders that will feed the Takum community and environment. We have already discussing with the distribution companies. As soon as this one is completed, we are going to train their staffs, and they will now pick from the feeders to radiate, the communities, to radiate power to the communities, so that they can actually benefit from what government has put place for them here.
The traditional ruler of Kashimbila, Gargadin the 8th of Kashimbila, His Royal Highness Zekari Musa Giendi, was grateful to the federal government for the project, which he said would attract development.
I feel very fine because I'm very more happy than anyone. Since the project is being here, I know that development will come in our area also.
With the commissioning of this new power plant, experts say there would be improved bulk power generation and transmission for onward delivery to Taraba, Benue, and other neighboring states. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has expressed satisfaction with the quality of project for the 2x60 MVA 132 33 kilovolts Takum transmission substation for evacuating power to the national grid from the new 40 megawatt Kashimbila hydropower plant in Taraba State.
While briefing the press after the Minister of Power, Engineer Saleh Mamman, and his delegation inspected the substation, the MD of TCN, Mr. Mohammed, said the substation work was good and that the Kashimbila hydro plant came at a time when TCN was working to tackle poverty by increasing access to energy, especially in the northeast.
Of course, the benefit is that we are going to open up people who are actually neglected. You look at this side of the country, I mean the eastern part of Nigeria, most of those places have no electricity. So this is one of the good jobs that have been done to power the place and give people electricity. You know that poverty and electricity are connected, so we want to reduce poverty. That's what it is.
The head transmission service provider, TSP, Engineer Victor Adeumi, at the Takum substation, said,
at the civil structure, you see that they are very, very solid. And by the time we look at the electromechanical structures, this is almost perfect. And looking at the equipment, the transformers, the other instruments that are here, like the VT, the CTs, they are one of the best. So this substation is very good, and I'm sure in terms of quality of power they are going to deliver to the customers, this is very, very good. And if this kind of subject can be replicated everywhere, I think we won't have much problem in the power sector.
The project manager and a deputy director in the Federal Ministry of Power, Engineer Ali Dabshima Abubakar, who led the dignitaries on inspection of the Takum substation, said the project was 100% completed and ready to be energized. He said the distribution companies DISCOs have been informed to be ready to take up the additional load once commissioned. On the Takum substation's components, he said,
we have 6 feeders on the other transformer and also another 6 feeders on the other side of the transformer. You can operate them independently, or you can use the post coupler there to couple them so that one transformer can feed the whole entire feeders.
Engineer Abubakar also led the officials to the control and charging rooms of the substation.
This is also the battery charging room, taking care of the communicating and the battery. The batteries are already installed at the other end. So this is the charging point for the battery. And also this one is for SAGI fire protection equipment. When we go out, we are going to explain those green cubicles. They are SAGI. If there is any pressure that is inbuilt in the transformer that will bring problem to the coils, as a result of hacking, it will now show alarm and indicate actually what is really happening, whether it's from the coil or the stator of the transformer. So when we go out, we are going to explain. So everything we have tested and in full readiness to start operation.
The Takum transmission substation built by the Federal Ministry of Power will be operated by TCN and is part of the transmission infrastructure focus of TCN to increase access to bulk power electricity in the country. Let's take a break for a message. Please stay with us.
Verify that land before you buy it. to drastically reduce the incidence of building under the transmission right-of-way or encroaching on designated TCN land. Members of the public are hereby requested to verify land near or along transmission line route before purchasing it. Verification should be made in the Land Development Authority or at the TCN office. This would help in drastically reducing the incidence of building under transmission line right-of-way and save us all the problem of pulling down the structure or truncating transmission line expansion projects in your community due to court injunction. Help us serve you better. Verify that land before you buy it.
The Gombe State government has reached out to the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, to seek support on its efforts to increase the power infrastructure to supply available power in the state.
The state governor, Alhaji Inuwa Yaya, who led a delegation on a courtesy visit to the TCN corporate headquarters in Abuja, addressed the managing director, CEO of TCN, Mr. Usman Guru Mohammed, on why the support was necessary as Gombe State has urgent need for more bulk power to run its social infrastructures.
We need power in order to do whatever. If it is to improve on the development of small and medium enterprises or to even run our hospitals. In fact, to run the waterworks of Gombe alone, we had to get a dedicated line from the transmission point at the substation in Gombe to get to Dadonkoa, which is where the Dadonkoa Dam itself is located.
He reiterated the confidence he has reposed in TCN as being capable of intervening to increase bulk power for the states, saying,
"We are in dire need for improvement of power, and we believe the transmission company is virtually the only organization that could help us in getting it done as soon as possible." So we now felt that we need to come and see you and press you and demand that you help us to solve this big challenge so that we could energize the people, energize the system, and make sure it works, and it works efficiently so that we can uplift the lives of our people.
The governor noted that on his recent visit to the Dadonkoa Dam, where a hydropower plant will soon be operational, he observed that there was need for a transmission substation to evacuate the power to Gombe town.
We'll have to join hands, all of us, and beg you and beg your organization to please come to our aid.
In his response, the MD, CEO of TCN, Mr. Mohammed, said TCN has done projects that had raised the bulk power transmission in Gombe State.
Now, in the entire Northeast, before the coming of President Muhammad Buhari, only Gombe and Yola has 330 kV substation. Only Gombe and Yola. But you know that we work very hard to complete Damaturu and Maiduguri. So now we have 4 330 kV substations in the Northeast. So actually this government worked very hard because the government has added 100% of capacity at 330 in the Northeast. That is what this government has done. We have equally put in plan to put a 330 in Jalingo and also a 330 in Mayabelwa and also a 330 kV substation in Bauchi, which means the Bauchi one is financed under the French Development Agency support. The one in Jalingo and Mayabelwa are under the World Bank support. All these are money that we have finished the plan. The procurement stage has reached advanced stage.
Mr. Mohammed, while addressing the transmission capacity in Gombe, said at 330 kilovolt level, the state has 2 by 150 MVA, and at 132 kilovolts, there is a 60 MVA, 45 MVA, and 40 MVA transformers. However, he said more projects are coming under the Northeast Transmission Project, NETAP. The World Bank has given approval for the procurement process of reinforcing all substations in the Northeast. Gombe will get additional 300 MVA transformer at the 330 kV level and 100 MVA transformer at the 132 kV transmission level. He also said there are projects for reconductoring transmission lines, especially from Gombe to Biu and Damboa to Maiduguri, to increase bulk power transmission in the region. Mr. Mohammed said,
So, sir, if you look at what we are doing in Gombe, at 330 we are adding 100% of the current capacity in Gombe. At 132 we are adding about 80% of the current capacity in Gombe. So these are projects that are not funded under public budget where we get 10%. They are 100% funded. They are coming from the donor. And even in the donors, we have tempered with the way we do project implementation. You remember we, for the first time, started what they call advanced procurement, which has never happened in Nigeria.
Mr. Mohammed, in a presentation, told the governor that TCN was keen on solving the poverty problem in the Northeast by providing power transmission access to deliver more energy for development. He said the West African Power Pool (WAP) and TCN are working on the Eastern Backbone transmission line that will connect West Africa to Cameroon through the Northeast.
One of the things that we are doing is to provide transmission access. And that is why this Eastern Backbone has come up. A 330 kV line will run, double circuit line will run from Calabar to Ikom to Ogoja, Ogoja to Kashimbila, Kashimbila to Mambila, Mambila to Jalingo, Mambila to Jalingo, Jalingo to Yola, up to Kano. And when that is done, it means that the Gombe will receive supply from Jos, and it can receive supply from Yola, and it can receive supply from Damaturu. And that means the Northeast will be fed from Jos. It will also be fed from Calabar, and it will also be fed from Kano.
Governor Yahaya was grateful to TCN for the huge transmission project plans.
We thank you very much. We appreciate you, and we wish you God's guidance as you continue to deliver the service and you continue to uplift the TCN and our people at large. Thank you so much. And I appreciate equally all your staff, the management and staff of the company, for having time to sit with us this morning. Thank you very much.
Such collaborative efforts between TCN and state governments have yielded fruits across Enugu, Ebonyi, Anambra and Kano states. We believe that Gombe will soon be part of the success story with these huge projects on the way. The need to keep fit and stay healthy is of top priority at the Transmission Company of Nigeria. The Managing Director, CEO, Mr. Usman Gur Mohammed, initiated a routine body fitness exercise which has been sustained by staff. Power will take a look at the recent edition.
Addressing the Minister of State Power, Mr. Godi J.D. Agba, who participated in the fitness exercise that holds every Saturday morning at the Jabi Lake in Abuja, Mr. Mohammed said,
So I'm so happy when I was told. It's not minister that told me. Somebody came to me, you know I like it. So they say your minister is like me. That's why I couldn't tell all that. That's why I invited you as a guest of honor, and we are highly honored that minister is here. There's something that minister said that you have to take it. It's not about the quantity of exercise that you do, but the consistency. Consistency is the most important. If you are consistent, you will see that you will not go to hospital. But if you are not consistent, if you start the exercise, let's say you are 90 kilograms, and you start the exercise and you reduce to 80. If you stop, you go to 100. So it's not good for you even to start.
He said TCN has become the strongest link in the power sector value chain because staff are becoming more innovative and that the exercise has improved their mental capacity as well as their productivity.
Now we are not the weakest, we are the strongest and the most innovative. And we are a government agency, yet we are the most innovative. I think part of the reason why we are the most innovative is what we are doing here. Because if you do exercise every time in the morning, you are just not one person. You are one person plus the exercise that you do. So you are naturally going to be very innovative, and you're going to be very active, and you're going to be hardworking. So that's what we are doing. And we are happy that staff are key into this.
The Minister of State, Mr. Godi J.D. Agba, related to TCN staff the benefit derivable from regular exercise program. He said exercise was the best means of reducing blood pressure and preventing ill health. Continuing, Mr. Godi Agba said TCN Fitness Club was very encouraging and impressive.
I wish I knew this one earlier. The club is good. It, like the MD said earlier, it doesn't just make you fit physically, mentally it keeps you alert. So it should be encouraged, and I think I'll register if there's a form, if you let me do that. In fact, we should make it more regular than once a week. Let's join and make things. We should have a fitness club even in our office, so we can. I went to some places and I saw they have fitness clubs. It doesn't take 1 hour in between walk. Maybe at 4 o'clock to the end of the day, or midday, or early in the morning before we start job. And they have washrooms. You change up and go to work. That's what they do in IOCs, you know. IOCs are international oil companies. They do all that. So why can't we do it here? I think we can. I think he can do it.
The Minister of State, who assumed office along with the Minister of Power, Engineer Saleh Mamman, a fortnight ago, said there was hope for electricity consumers in Nigeria.
There's hope, bright hope. The light is coming very soon. The light that, not electricity light only, at least the path to glory is coming, and we're working towards that. But it doesn't have to come from us. We are only policy. You are the guys who do the job work. So if you work hard and with our cooperation, I'm sure we'll have light in Nigeria. And that's the beginning of revolution, of industrial revolution in Nigeria.
The head transmission service provider, TSP, Engineer Victor Adewumi, commended the Minister of State for honoring the TCN Fitness Club's invitation.
Let me, again, on behalf of the entire TCN Fitness Club, formally welcome you to our business morning. Of course, the benefit of exercise is numerous, but let me just quickly draw out one thing we are beginning to see. Apart from the health benefit, we discovered that those group of men and ladies you are seeing here today, in their respective departments, they are the ones leading. So that shows that exercise is not only going to increase your physical well-being, it's equally going to increase your mental capacity.
There is a popular saying that health is wealth. However, the MD of TCN adds that exercise improves health and innovativeness. If you haven't started a fitness plan, then it's time you begin to stay fit. We're bringing you more reports in the Power Flash segment. Please don't go away. We appreciate you for staying with us on this edition of Power Wheel. Join us next week on the same station for a refreshing edition. This episode and the previous ones are available on our YouTube channel. You can also connect with us on these other platforms showing on your screen. I am Chinwenwa Anyao. See you next time.